private sector need to come together, understand the scale of opportunity, scale their thinking up, and go after the opportunity and put the pressure back on the heads in the region to say, we are ready, come on board, and let us together form a partnership to solve this problem. If not, then you give the heads no other choice but to go extra-regional.
The Guyanese head of state added that governments have taken the position to move forward with stakeholders who are on board with the agenda.
It is no longer talking about what can be done. It's doing what we have been talking about for a very long time. The new approach is a different mindset. It's a different way of thinking. The heads of government have agreed that if we are not ready, or if we are not all ready to move, then we must move with those who are ready. The time has come for us to demonstrate tangible results, as we seek to create an environment in this region in which not only we are food secure, but we develop a sustainable and resilient path to food security.
Guyana has established a food terminal in Barbados, with similar discussions already ongoing with Antigua, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region. There is also the aim of ensuring that by 2024, the country is completely sufficient in feed production using corn and soya. There is a performance mark of 61% in poultry and an overall 80% for livestock. As of March this year, Jamaica has achieved 26% of their agricultural target. Trinidad has seen success in poultry with 66,500 metric tons completed from the 83,000 metric tons target as of June. In St. Lucia, fresh fruit, poultry and pork production has surpassed targets as of mid-2022. Before the end of this year, the aquaculture sector in Barbados will commence production. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Here is Rupa Sinarayan once again, this time to report that replacing the imported supply of food with local produce might create objections in the population, but it will ultimately make the Caribbean independent against international obstacles to acquiring goods during crisis. This was the position shared by Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, during the opening of the Agri-Investment Forum and Expo.
The Trinidadian Prime Minister shared that to carry a 25% production rate, it would mean replacing supply from outside the region. While this is anticipated to create competition and bring about objections in the population, it will secure the region against challenges to source food during international crises. Dr. Rowley recollected instances where Trinidad has faced hiked prices and the issue of preferential treatment in the past when it was in need of supplies.
We are required to replace our supply from outside of the region. To do that, it would mean that those who are engaged comfortably, historically, in supplying us from outside of the region could face new conditions. The new conditions would be competition from what we are producing locally. And do not be surprised if there would be among our populations objection to that, objection to local supply replacing imported supply. But if we do not aim to replace the imported supply with local supply, then we are condemning ourselves to the vagaries of the ups and downs of the international market, and we will not be able to look after ourselves.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, highlighted the need for Caribbean households to adopt a new approach to nutrition and consuming what is produced locally to support the market. At the same time, she said governments have a responsibility to make food accessible and affordable.
We have to start eating what we grow. and growing what we eat. And we have to do it not only because of the economic requirements, but because of the health requirements. The reality is that every major health site will tell you about the appropriate use of low glycemic foods. Most of that we grow here, and we grow it, and our youngsters eat macaroni pie and fries. We got to change that.
Vice President Dr. JAGDEO today declared that the People's Progressive Party Civic is ready for the hosting of local government elections this year. Once again, the Elections Commission has preparations in place. Vanu Manikchan reports.
We've already gone on an election footing. We'll be ready whether elections are held this year or next year. We don't control when that happens, GCOM does. But we'd be ready at any time.
That was Vice President JAGDEO during a press conference on Friday. JAGDEO, who is also the General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, related that as soon as GCOM indicates its readiness to host the local government polls, a date will be set.
GCOM would have the right indicated when they're ready. But the People's Progressive Party, I speak for the PP, as General Secretary, and I've already convened a meeting, and we've started working on our organizational structures around the country. We've put our party on a readiness mode.
Only this week, GCOM Chair retired Justice Claudette Singh assured that preparations are ongoing for the hosting of local government elections by the end of this year. But leader of the APNU-AFC opposition, Aubrey Norton, has announced that the party will not participate in any elections if the voters list is not cleansed. However, VP JAGDEO is of the view that Norton will backpedal on this position whenever local government polls are called.
Norton can't bully the government or the country not having local government elections. He is probably had a good dream in Congress Place, sleeping down there. But he can't bully that local government shall take place. We don't know the timing because we don't control that. The PPP will participate. He now has to backpedal, go back down basically, and contest the elections. I'm sure he will. Don't worry with all this big gaffe.
Further, the Vice President bashed the opposition leader for trying to bully the GCOM chair by calling for her to resign.
I've seen him on several occasions say some of the most disparaging things about the chair of GCOM. But what bothered me the most is that on 2 occasions, he has issued a not so veiled threat to the chairman of GCOM. And I'm shocked that civil society and the international community has not responded to this. That Norton has threatened on more than 1 occasion the chairman of GCOM, the head of an independent statutory body, because he's not happy with her.
In response to the opposition's claim that she sides with the government, Justice Singh told reporters that she always acts in accordance with the law and upholds the rule of law. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
We are now joined by Fiona Morrison, who reports that the decade-old murder case involving 16-year-old NEESA GOPAUL was finally settled on Friday, with the Caribbean Court of Justice overturning the conviction and 45-year prison sentence of the teenager's stepfather, Jarvis Small, on finding that he was gravely prejudiced. Her mother, Bibi Sharima GOPAUL's prison sentence has also been reduced from 45 years to 25 years.
NEESA GOPAUL's mother, Bibi Sharima GOPAUL, 50, and her 40 were initially sentenced to 106 and 96 years in prison, respectively, after they were found guilty of the teen's murder, by a jury before Justice Navendra Singh 2015. They shortly after lodged separate appeals against their convictions and sentences at the Court of Appeal of Guyana, which in August 2021 affirmed their convictions but reduced their prison term to 45 years each. Dissatisfied with that court's decision, they asked the Caribbean Court of Justice to determine whether their murder convictions were unsafe and whether the local Court of Appeal's variation of their sentences of imprisonment to 45 years was excessive. Delivering its majority ruling on Friday, the Caribbean Court of Justice held that not only was there insufficient evidence linking Jarvis Small to the gruesome murder, but also that evidence of a highly prejudicial nature was admitted against him.
The court was satisfied that the trial judge should have upheld the submission, that there was no case for Small to answer, and directed his acquittal. The paucity of evidence against Small would have been apparent at the beginning of the trial when the application was made by Small for a separate trial and when it was clear that evidence of a confession that GOPAUL had made to a cellmate was inadmissible against Small and would be highly prejudicial to him. This made it an exceptional case where the trial judge ought to have directed that there would be separate trials. Small was gravely prejudiced by the joint trial because he was convicted on the strength of evidence which was completely inadmissible against him.
On the other hand, baby Sharima GOPAUL, who had been jointly tried along with Jarvis Small, while her conviction was affirmed, the regional court reduced her jail sentence from 45 to 25 years, ordering that she be considered for parole not before 15 years. In upholding the mother's conviction, the CCJ ruled that the prosecution had proved its case against her beyond a reasonable doubt.
GOPAUL was subject to sentencing according to Section 100A, Sub 1, Paragraph B of the Criminal Law Offences Act, which prescribes that a person should be sentenced to imprisonment for life or such other term as the court considers appropriate, not being less than 15 years. The court found that in this case, there had been no fair and just sentencing process. The sentence imposed by the trial court, 106 years, with a starting point of 60 years, exceeded the life expectancy of a human being and was grossly disproportionate and manifestly excessive. The sentence and the manner in which the trial court went about it were contrary to Section 144, the Section 144 constitutional guarantee of a fair hearing by an independent and impartial court, and to Section 141, as the disproportionate and excessive penalty imposed was tantamount to inhuman and degrading punishment. The resentencing by the Court of Appeal was also reviewed. This court noted that the Court of Appeal did not discount pretrial custody in accordance with this court's guidance in the Costa Hall against the Queen. The court considered that the sentence itself of 45 years, though not as grossly disproportionate as the trial judge's sentence, was still manifestly excessive, and the Court of Appeal did not indicate the period of ineligibility for parole consistent with the legislative intent in Section 100A, subsection 3 of the Criminal Law Offences Act.
Relying on case laws, and after considering the aggravating and mitigating circumstances and the manner in which the teen was brutally murdered, the CCJ resentenced her mother.
The court found that a fair and just sentence of imprisonment for a term of 30 years with parole eligibility not before 15 years would meet the penological objectives of sentencing. From that sentence, the period of 5 years would be deducted for time spent in pretrial custody.
Attorneys at law Ronald Daniels and Nigel Hughes represented Small, while Sharima Gopal was represented by attorney-at-law Arudranath Gusai. The decomposed and headless body of the younger Gopal, a former Queen's College student, was found stuffed in a suitcase in a creek along the Linden-Suesdijk Highway on October 2, 2010. Fiona Marson, The Evening News.
Coming up on the other side of the break, City Hall aims at settling $1 billion owed to GRA and 100 women to benefit from MASSY'S Stop Abuse grocery program. Please stay tuned.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to the ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
In 2022, Guyana is expected to receive over $1 billion in revenues from oil production. This will contribute significantly to the country's development by supporting key infrastructural projects and the social programs in the country.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
We asked two families, which antibacterial soap do you buy?
Any. They're all the same.
I always buy Protex.
And why is that?
Because Protex reinvented antibacterial soaps. Its formula is fortified with flaxseed oil to boost your skin's natural antibacterial defenses.
And it keeps on working throughout the day.
Wow. Can I have a Protex?
Naturally.
Protex, for the good health of the skin.
Stop the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Well-trained staff and warming halls make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality, or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. In counting its mountain of debts, the Georgetown Mayor and City Council is working on a bartering plan to liquidate the $1 billion that is owed to the Guyana Revenue Authority.
Mayor Yubraj Narain disclosed at a press conference on Friday that the council had engaged the Guyana Revenue Authority about 1 week ago on pending financial matters. He identified that while the municipality owes $1 billion to the agency, GRA also needs to return monies owed for VAT paid for garbage collection. He added that the authority also operates in various areas without paying revenue. Since both agencies have outstanding monies for each other, the council is aiming to find an amicable resolution.
While GRA owe the City Council those monies, we also owe GRA. But beyond that, we also discussed that GRA is occupying the avenue which they're not paying the council a revenue. So that is one we are looking at. Secondly, we are looking at on Lamaha Avenue where the railway embankment is, where GRA operate, I believe, as a parking lot and some other temporary license office. We're also looking at revenue from those areas. We're looking for a good relationship with GRA and other government agencies, so that we can able to work for the betterment of the citizen of Georgetown.
Dating back to 1994, the council also owes the National Insurance Scheme in excess of $500 million. These payments have since commenced, and a plan is in place to ensure persons get their monies.
NIS has been owned by the Mayor and City Council since 1994. However, we met with the board and payment had commenced from our end to NIS, and I believe that a few staff already start receiving benefits from NIS.
Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
Andrew Newyear, a suspect who was shot following a high-speed chase on Thursday, has succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical attention at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Newyear was one of the men who hijacked a taxi PSS 2705 at Vridslas Railway Embankment, East Coast Demerara, and forced the driver Joshua Singh into the trunk of the car before they embarked on a robbery spree. It was reported that Newyear and Rolf Franklin were shot and injured after they exited the vehicle following its crash on Mandela Avenue. Also arrested on that morning were Hamza Samuels and Emmanuel Hale. Police have stated that Singh's car was hijacked by the bandits, who then robbed several persons in Sophia, Cummings Lodge, Camberville, and Lamaha Street, Georgetown. After they had committed the robberies and were arrested, Singh was found in the trunk of his motorcar PSS 2705. Also recovered from that vehicle were 8 cellular phones, 1 laptop computer, and a female purse. Following interrogation, Hale and Samuels confessed to stealing the car and to committing the armed robberies. Large portions of grass, which can be seen floating in the Berbice River, continue to affect the livelihood of fisher folk who operate the smaller seines. Emanating from the Kanji River, these portions of grass floating into the Berbice River and attach themselves to fish pens, which they eventually destroy. Our Berbice correspondent, Andrew Carmichael, reports that the contractors are employed by the Region 6 administration to cut the grass from the banks of the Kanji River twice per year in order to keep the channel clear.
Fisher folk who operate in the waterways along with other boat owners have been asking for the grass to be cut in smaller portions, which would make it potentially less harmful when it entangles with their seines or wraps around their fishing pens. The issue was raised at several levels. In fact, Region 6 Chairman David Armagon in June said that the Chief Fisheries Officer Denzel Roberts had written to him asking for the regional administration to meet with the grass cutters. Armagon said that a grass eater will be arriving in Guyana. This machine cuts the grass before putting it back into the water. Meanwhile, in April, fisher folk who operate from Rosignol raised the issue with Vice President Dr. Barrett JAGDEO, and he had promised to focus on a long-term solution to the issue. Some of the fisher folk say they have not been able to work for the past 4 months. Ganesh Mutu of Bad Settlement, West Coast Berbice in Region 5, has 4 fishing boats operating in the Berbice River. He told the Evening News that the grass continues to affect him.
I had a pen outside by the tree flush, the 5th pen spot, and the grass is affected terribly.
Is it affecting your catch?
Yeah, because when you pull on the chase, when you pull on the chase, when you chase a pen, and you can't get a catch because the chasers provide the fish to run in the seine to come in. And sometimes you pull on your pen and damage the seine. And some people get damaged seine and then pen pull off.
In addition, another fisherman noted that they have been battling for this issue for years.
For years, this complaint got to the minister them and whatsoever. Last 3 months for one, the president come out bat at me. Me go down there to be our next girl, fisher girl, or reach I upstairs there, talk to the vice president, but it's grass. Oh yeah, fair be. Fair enough, people live in the country creek, then gotta go and come to the business. We gotta have a business out here too. We gotta be different from fishing work. But you clean the canal for them get access to go on to the business. But when they go to cut the grass and they go to the river, you affect all fishermen and me alone. All the Chinese fishermen.
Access to Baracaro City, with it 52 miles up the Kanji River, is sometimes a nightmare due to heavy vegetation that blocks some sections of the waterway, thus making it almost impossible for boats to traverse. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
The University of Guyana Foundation, in observance of its 60th anniversary, has partnered with Demerara Distillers Limited to create a special 60th anniversary blend of rum that would be sold to raise funds for the foundation. Here are the details in this report.
The first edition of the special blend was uncapped on Thursday evening at the Black Magenta, Camp Street, Georgetown. During the uncapping ceremony, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Paloma Mohammed, explained that this special blend was launched in order to raise money to fund several initiatives.
The Chancellor of the University, who is the chair of the foundation for the moment, had set a very ambitious target of $60 million in 5 years, starting this October when we will go into our 60th year, October the 3rd. And so this is a very fascinating, we'll see if we'll get there, but I believe it's doable. And that $60 million is really focused on, one, we have no sports facility at the University of Guyana, none, not even a proper field. And this is a travesty given how many wonderful sports people come out of this country and how universities and sports are linked. We have no auditorium that could house anything more than 700 people, so when we have a big event, we have a scholarship program for staff and student development that we want to support. And there's several other small infrastructural and other projects. And the library, our library, as you probably know, is old, the heartbeat of the university.
There are only 6,000 bottles of this limited edition special blend that will be sold at $100 each. She further stated that throughout the year they will have other activities to commemorate the milestone.
We also have a history of the University of Guyana that we're updating. So there are advertising opportunities in there. We have bingos, we have film shows, we have international conferences during the year. But the big event that we hope to have to culminate with in 2023, October 2023, is the homecoming event, in which we hope to have 1,000 alumni from all around the world come to Guyana to visit UG and to see how Guyana has changed. Many of them have not been back home for ages, to see how the university has changed and to begin an earnest conversation about the future of the university and the future of education in the country.
Meanwhile, Master of Distillers at DDL Lennox, Sean Caleb, stated that a blend was created from several other blends of rums that cannot be replicated.
We selected 3, like I said, inspired by the blends in our overseas channels. We selected 3 that best toasted, in our view, the Demerara founding and the form footing of the University of Guyana. The blend, of course, though significantly contributed by the Demerara inspiration, would not be complete without the influence and the charm of the ancient county. And so the county of Berbice was represented through the distillate of our double wooden pot still.
As such, he stated that the buyers of the blend will truly have a one-of-a-kind experience. The rum will be available at all DSL outlets, the duty-free shop at Movietown Mall, and soon at the Chedi Jagan International Airport. Bashar Mohammed, The Evening News.
In an effort to support survivors of domestic violence, Massy Group of Companies has launched its 1.5 million women's grocery voucher program dubbed Safe, Stop Abuse, Stay Empowered, which will benefit 100 women. Here is Shane Marks with this report.
On Friday, Massy Group, in collaboration with the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, launched its Stop Abuse, Stay Empowered program that will benefit 100 women.
The SAFE program that we're launching this morning, Stop Abuse, Feel Empowered, is a fusion of tackling suicide prevention and also domestic violence.
Under this initiative, each woman will receive a grocery voucher valued at $15,000. The project aims to assist women who are in abusive situations, and the Social Security Ministry will screen and identify those 100 recipients. Navinder Thakur, Senior Vice President of Massy Group, said that the company is very committed to executing its corporate social responsibility.
We want to ensure people know what we do. So you're going to see us in the press, you're going to see us all over the place. Not because we are now doing things, but we're showing everybody or the public that Massy has been doing and is very committed to what we call corporate social responsibility.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vinya Prasad stated that Massy's financial contribution will assist survivors to procure basic needs when they leave.
When somebody's in a really dire strait, they're thinking, if I go out there and I leave familiarity, security, and I'm going out there into what I hope is a better space and a place for me, what am I getting? And so there came, after this initial conversation, we want a voucher, who we can write, who we can ask, and because of all the obvious, we asked. And you didn't turn us down, and there came SAFE, Stop Abuse, Feel Empowered. And so every woman who needs it will have access to a voucher to the worth of $15,000 as part of their survival kit. And I want to thank Massy Group of Companies.
Shane Marks, The Evening News.
Under the Indian Council for Cultural Relations scholarships, a 22-year-old Essequibian dance teacher will be able to study classical dance in India for the next 3 years. More in this report.
The Indian High Commission in Guyana on Tuesday announced that Devashani Naipal has already left Guyana for New Delhi, India. There will commence a 3-year program of Indian classical dance under the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. Naipal hails from the county of Essequibo and is a self-taught dancer since the age of 5. Currently at 22, she has learned Kathak and Indian Bollywood dances and has started a dance academy in Essequibo. During her meeting with the High Commissioner, Naipal expressed her gratitude to the ICH for the opportunity to learn more about Indian culture. Moreover, she is ecstatic to return to Guyana to educate her students in the academy.
I must say I'm super excited and I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn more about Indian culture and so much more. So thankful to the Indian High Commission for giving me this great opportunity so that I can learn more in our Indian culture.
The Indian High Commissioner Dr. K.J. Srinivasa stated that such scholarships enhance cultural exchange and contribute to further India-Guyana cooperation. He also highlighted that the High Commission of India is currently offering 9 scholarships under the ICCR program. Shane Marks, The Evening News.
We will now take a look at the bridge reports.
So Demawara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, August 20 at 23 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, August 20 at 11 hours 5 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Trinidadian races confident ahead of international drag meet, and West Indies women to host New Zealand women in Antigua. This and more coming up in the Sportscast, sponsored by Maccorp.
Mobil lubricants is more than just oil. It's many oils. The blends of oil give you higher mileage. Choose from your advanced synthetic blend or conventional. It is the best oil for your engine.
Mobil lubricant is the best oil for newer engineering of engines. Newer engines are much more close tolerance. Thus, this oil has a variety of grades and build-up properties to suit these engineering. Mobil lubricant keeps the engine oil seals in a uniform order and condition. Mobil lubricants withstands longer drain intervals. Why is this? Mobil lubricant has a very high detergent in its oil, and once fully synthetic oil is used, we can achieve this.
So, whatever is your engine needs, choose Mobil lubricants. Proven performance for your engine.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that CVON's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call CVON's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
John Lewis Styles proudly introduces Everest Bags, a complete and affordable line especially suited for back to school. Lunch bags from $3,500, backpacks from $4,500, pulley backpacks from $10,995. Also available are messenger bags, computer bags, waist pouches, duffel bags, gym bags, and even camping bags, all for the same price or less than buying online. And it's already here on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
SuperBet com certeza a sua melhor escolha. Com mais de 200 jogos online com SuperBet, você aposta é para ganhar. Cadastre-se hoje, tá esperando o quê? Basta acessar o www.superbet.gy. Clicar em registrar e você já está apto a participar. Lembrando que o SuperBet não é recomendado para menores de 18 anos.